r/AskReddit. What BS are you dealing with at work right now? Lately, whenever the mother of one of my students pisses off the father, they divorced 4 months ago, he will send all 3 of their kids in mismatched clothes with shirts that have some variation of "I love my dad" or "Daddy's kid." I have not seen the same shirt twice and believe mom throws the shirts out and dad just keeps buying more. I work with a woman who CCs her boss on all emails. Her boss follows up on all of the emails 5-10 minutes later. They looks like this. Woman: "Hey Ganglebert. We're starting this new thing, so can you send us X, Y and Z when you have a chance, thanks." Her boss: 5 minutes later. Ganglebert: "As per woman's initial request, we need these things to move forward. In our previous meeting on the 4th of May, at 2 PM you indicated you could send these to us. I ask you to please send these along ASAP as our initiative depends on good information. Please confirm receipt and indicate when we can expect these documents." I handed in my notice at work and my boss suddenly stopped talking to me. Lol. Girlfriend took the time off in advance to see a best friend she hasn't seen in 2 years for literally 1 day. Work is currently telling her that they're scheduling a mandatory employee meeting everyone needs to go to or else you get fired. Keep in mind there is barely anything important that ever gets announced at these. I was offered a job at another location. I told my boss about it and my current company offered me a raise to stay. I took it. It's been 2 months and I haven't seen the raise in my paycheck yet. Update. I emailed my boss and asked for an update. They assumed I understood that the raise would begin at our new fiscal year, which starts the 1st of July. So it will be in my next paycheck. Jeff cuts his fingernails every fucking day in his office. How do they grow so fast? Is he a werewolf? Also, he scrapes every last tiny fucking bit out of his yogurt container. It's so loud and he does it for like 3 minutes straight. Edit. Fixed a word. Boss doesn't understand how time works. I'm at an internship I was extremely excited to have and learn from. I haven't done any work the past 2 weeks : I wasn't able to hit the target goal for the cancer screening program I work for this year. Basically, my head office asked me to increase the number of people we screened for breast cancer this past year. I agreed to the increased goal, but they then didn't increase my budget enough to actually cover it. So come the end of our fiscal year and I'm having to explain to them over and over why it happened. And my boss just called to ask if I can increase my goal more for next year with no additional funds. The Peter Principle alive and well. 2 of my co-workers were promoted out of the department and no one was hired to replace them, leaving me to do the work of 3 people, minimum. Upon expressing that my own hours weren't enough time to get the work done, even with overtime, I was told, "You have to get it done. If you can't get it done, it means we'll have to find someone else who will." Robot. What you're looking for is a robot willing to work 24/7 for a barely living wage. Got it. Glad to know the company values my mental health. I do sound for cover band at a hotel that feels like they're better than or at least equal to an act that sells out stadiums. Every night I deal with 5-60+ musicians with expectations that would make Mariah Carey say that's too fucking much. Edit. Typo. Do this task. What do you need? I need 30 computers and 20 USB 3 flash drives. Here's 15 computers and 7 USB 2 flash drives. What? I need 30. Where's the other 15? And these flash drives won't do. The system won't even work with those. Budget cuts. Sorry. Later. How's this task going along? Everything is set to go. But as is, it won't fulfill the task. What's keeping you from doing the task? I need 15 more computers and 20 USB 3 flash drives. Okay. We'll order more ASAP. They'll be here in 2 years. Make sure everything's running by September though. Are things like this everywhere or is it just at my job? Client had a full 10 months to review a demo site that we had up. They made a couple of nitpicks and claimed they were happy with it. The site went into staging a few weeks ago and they immediately came up with a list of 50+ issues with it and demand it be fixed or they won't renew the contract. Edit. It's a bit complicated. I think part of the issue is that the upper management didn't look at the site until it was in staging, and they are the ones that noticed the problems. We are releasing patches on a nearly daily basis, which is keeping them happy. Just today that said that all the major roadblocks are out of the way and the site can go to production. I'm on my 2-week notice right now, so I'm being treated like shit and having a bunch of extra work piled on. Sharing an office with OSHA specialist. He has literally nothing to do. Each morning he fills up the 3 band-aid dispensers that we have and then stares out the window or sits in front of a blank computer screen all day and keeps fucking clicking with his pen and annoying the shit out of me. Meanwhile I have so much stuff to do, shit's falling off my table. Have tons of emails. People constantly asking for help, and he leans over the monitor and comments, busy today, eh? I swear to God, I hear one more pen click or stupid comment, we will have our very first work accident and there will be no one to claim it to. Edit update: he just got the annual risk assessment from some OSHA company. All he had to do was write down how many workers we have in each department, and he needs to send it to everyone in our company. So far 2 hours of hum Anna, Amelia, B hum Bruce, C. He doesn't fucking know to click send to all in our building. Assistant forwarded me a call from a friend colleague of mine. She got one syllable of my friend's name wrong, which wasn't a big deal. The friend and I are working on a big deal, so she's called multiple times since then. My assistant has got her name wrong every time, and despite me correcting her each time, the corruptions are getting further from the mark. Happened again yesterday. The worst butchering of the name yet. I wanted to yell at her, but I took a breath and I said her name is XX. When you consistently say her name wrong, it sounds like you're insulting her. I know you're not trying to insult her, but she is a personal friend and she brings us a lot of business, so please do try to get it right. I don't think I could have handled that better. But she flipped out at me. Then told a bunch of the other staff about what an a-hole I am. Ugh. Some dumbass AR clerk who can't match up numbers, so they're threatening to put us on hold until we pay for shit we already paid for. Budget issues. We as a management team just waived our annual increase to make sure there was enough for all of our employees, as we're giving them their annual reviews, raises and new salary info. They don't know we're not getting anything this year. An inbox full of emails followed by text messages asking if I got the email 2 minutes after it was sent, followed by a phone call asking if I got the text message just as the text message notification pops up. The phone call then covers all the information from the email and the text message. Calm the fuck down. Management is too cheap to pay for another worker, so the responsibility is passed to a different person every night. It goes against the policy and procedures of the place, but they don't care. That I hate my job but like the money I make. But is good pay worth the depression? Just saw my director of revenue on Facebook while I'm finishing her month-end report that we should have finished by the 5th of July. I decided fuck around Reddit. Being scheduled on basically every day I was supposed to have off. The sole developer of an application that electrical engineers for some of the biggest companies, Apple, Samsung, Toshiba, etc. around the world rely on, is on a month-long adventure in Africa. I am currently the only person maintaining the application, and I was given access to the repository just 5 days before the creator became unavailable. My gluten allergy did me dirty. Boss just told me that she's actually going to take the time I spent in my bathroom out of my paycheck. Thank God this is my last week. Edit. Wow guys, thank you for all the support. I'm so glad people actually care about issues like these because it's a real problem. My last day is Friday, so they made me write a guide on how to do my job because no one else knows how. We're supposed to do more upselling, but it's very hard to do in our department when customers just want to pretty much get in and get out. Hopefully I'm not fired for it. My robot is not doing what I designed him to do and is making my work a lot harder. The irony. Edit. The robot is supposed to take data from a banking core system and make different tasks. Can't say more than this cause I love my job and don't want to get fired. And no, people are not getting fired because of the robot. The company is ran by people that really care about its employees and they hardly ever let go of people. We take tasks that people really hate or take too long. Being acquired by a much bigger company. Disruption with a capital D. I have a good point. But I'm dismissed with, well, that's not going to happen. It can. We just have to. I don't want to work 70 hours a week. How dare I want a life-work balance? My boss died last night. We've all known him as a close friend for years. Moved from public sector to private. It's bonkers here. I'm a database developer and I regret leaving my old one. Going to beg them to take me back. I have a vendor who gives me the same answer every day that I email him. Let me check and get back to you. His shipment has slipped by over 2 months at this point and it's driving me nuts. He's doing the same thing to other people in my office on other projects. He's on a quick list to be blacklisted. But unfortunately, the clients love his stuff. Edit. Furniture. He sells furniture. Why does everyone think it's drugs? Management cutting everyone's hours and then getting upset when we make mistakes from the heavier workload. For the first time in years, I'm actually dealing with no bullshit at all. The team I'm working with is great. Management is great and even the customers seem to be in a good mood lately. I can only wait for the inevitable shitstorm that's coming. I'm trying to find a new job that pays more and no one fucking wants me. I finish my work a little early nearly every day. I get bored and frustrated because there is nothing to really do that'll take up 4+ hours of my time. Boss says, read a book, draw, knit, go online and read, go for some basketball. Another time he proposed to me working just 3 days a week. And was then like, leave early if you have nothing to do. Beforehand he said I couldn't leave early. Wouldn't give me 4 10-hour work days instead of 5 8-hour ones. Makes quips about how my doodles are expensive, hahaha, even though he said I should fill time up just in case the phones ring. I don't even pick up the phone. I left 15 minutes early and left some tasks to complete tomorrow. Because if I don't I won't have an II thing to do. One of them was procuring a form. And I asked the person who needed it done if I could take care of it first thing tomorrow morning. They said yes. I was sternly talked to about how it should be done as soon as it's received. Even though I was given the okay to complete it tomorrow. Ugh. So many double standards. No HR. ND, I'm so frustrated. We have an older man in the office who makes a lot of typos and number errors on reports. Like 7/10 reports have issues. My supervisor had the idea that I would act as middleman to check for mistakes and the like, and send him my revised versions instead. It's been working out well so far, except the last week. I've realized that because I'm double checking the reports, that now I am never allowed to make a mistake. With my filtering, we rarely see reports kicked back for errors. But, on the rare occasion that I also miss something, I'm very new to this industry. So a lot of the time I don't even really understand what the report is even for. And management knew this upon hiring me. It's now completely my fault. And the older man isn't even spoken to anymore. Instead of the boss management telling this man to get his shit together, they've just created a new job for me to do so he can continue to do things incorrectly and get paid for it. Feels like I've been given the responsibility of scapegoat. Astronomer here. I submitted my PhD, yay. And it turns out part of the process in the country where this is happening, the Netherlands, is I have to pay to get over 100 copies of my thesis. The department actually recommends 200-300. Because you'll want to give one to everyone in the department. And send them to luminaries in your field. And just save them in case someone wants one in the future. Meanwhile everyone not from the Netherlands will stare at you funny if you say this and say they maybe printed out one copy for their parents and another for their advisor because, you know, we have the internet now. Which I 100% agree with. This mainly seems like a great way to kill trees. Unfortunately for the trees though, I've realized getting your doctorate is a their ball, their bat, their rules situation. And 400 years of tradition doesn't budge easily. So I'm just gonna have to print the damn things. Suru stupid. Hey, you know that job that takes all day to complete you do? Yeah. Here's 6 more. Wait, hang on, Oh, also you know that job that takes like 3 guys all day to do? Yeah. Yeah, can you do that 3 times a day from now on too? Your phone's ringing BTW. Being rewarded for being good at my job by being given more work to do with no compensation for the extra work. A new GM who has no prior experience managing a restaurant because she was a friend of the owner. Having nothing to do and trying to look busy doing it. Reddit helps a lot on this front. I manage all the tools, parts, and materials for a small electrical company. We have a ton of little fittings, couplings, and such that are very small and have multiple parts. We recently let one of our journeymen go, and I'm in the process of clearing out his van. Turns out he was hoarding tens of thousands of fittings in his van, all mixed together with absolutely no organization. To top it off, at least 60% of them were completely disassembled before being just chucked into drawers, boxes, and bags along with mixed bolts, nuts, fasteners, etc. So it is now my job to take these collections of assorted hardware and dump them out, separate them, and reassemble as many as I can before restocking them in my already overflowing shop. Every time I go into the baby bear enclosure to do anything, the same one comes up to me and tries to bite my dick. The biggest micromanager of a boss I have ever had to deal with. I said yes to every request asked when I was new and in between bosses. Now I have exponentially more responsibilities than my initial job description without a pay increase. I was sexually assaulted by a customer. My managers think the better plan is for me to hide in the break room while he shops from now on instead of banning the customer from the store. I was a minor at the time and the customer tried to get me to give him my phone number and address so he could take me to Lincoln, 2 hours away from my house. Edit. The sexual assault was not the customer trying to get my phone number and address. The assault was a customer grabbing my butt, forcibly holding my hand, and kissing me on the cheek. I'm so ungodly bored. And I can't even give myself projects to work on anymore because I know it's not needed. I work in a state psychiatric hospital. The doctors are incompetent and just view it as a puff job to settle into. We treat the patients like shit. We don't treat them. We just feed them drugs. The admin is more concerned with keeping the shitty decision makers happy than actually trying to do what the institution is tasked to do. And I got in trouble for asking the dietary director, why do you make 200 servings of potatoes for 75 patients? Having a smoke after I got slammed with a 14 top by myself because my cook called in 10 minutes before her shift. And I fucking rocked it. Accidentally mentioned to my boss that my relationship was ending. He just asked me about it in front of my coworkers. And I got a stern talking to for the tone of voice I used when I told him I'd prefer not to talk about it. I have own personal sales targets and my branch has an overall target to hit. My yearly sales target is around £1.2 million and with less than a month to go I am currently at £1.8 million but the branch fell short $800k. Every I'm in my branch's sales team hit their personal targets too. The branch heavily relies on other sectors' sales for specific products for the remainder. So due to other areas of the company not pulling their weight, my team now look like we're not doing our jobs and are getting shit from HO even though the figures are there in black and white. Overall this means that there is number 20% pay rise and I'll have to keep scraping the barrel for another year just to keep living. There was a free buffet lunch at work planned for tomorrow. It was rescheduled for today, the day that I am not in until after lunch. And no one was informed. Those that were there got lucky. Me, not so much. A third party keeps insisting that an individual worked for my company. They did not. We have searched everywhere. We have punched in every variation of their name, birthday, social security number into our system. Dude didn't work here. And well, this other woman says he did isn't an argument. Eater. As much as I appreciate all the replies, this is not my first rodeo as an attorney. And I wouldn't be complaining if this had a simple fix like tell them to fuck off or stop replying. Got a fourth job to help manage bills, save up and pay off some debt. Job pays very well and hourly too. Consisting of writing on a topic I'm very passionate about and love to discuss with people and share knowledge on. I already have plenty written for my own personal use and this company basically wants to license me to use it and have me write more. First 38 hours of work is creating hyperlinks in my sources. Copy article name. Paste into Google. Click PubMed link. Find full text article or copy boy into C-Hub. Copy link. Paste into source. Copy article name. Create hyperlink. Rinse and repeat. For 38 fucking hours. Not what I imagined myself doing. My work crushes talking to me more and I have small heart attacks each time. My co-workers haven't had a raise in 13 years. And we've been in contract negotiations the entire 2 years I've been here. I saw a post on Reddit that explained the meaning of if you're the prettiest whore in the whorehouse. Expect to get fucked. If you're a good worker, the best. Expect to do a shit ton of extra work basically. Let me just say I'm the prettiest of whores right now. Done. I walked out a week ago. I'm done dealing with bullshit. I can find a job. Self-respect is more important. Asked for a well-deserved raise based on how much value to the company I add by handling my massive workload. Instead of a raise they just hired an entry-level employee to help me. I hate my boss and I'm leaving this job in like a month. Moving across the country and maintaining no real connection to the city I'm living in now. So my ability to give a shit or actually push myself to work is rapidly approaching zero. Lot of my day is spent with the door closed and splayed out on my office couch. I work in clinical research. Guys before me barely did anything for our studies. Paperwork wise. Now I'm realizing they missed a ton of required paperwork. Some of which needed to be signed by the patients. Huge protocol deviations. Cause these assholes couldn't be bothered to read and follow the protocol correctly. Now I'm stuck cleaning up their messes. Slow right now. They just decided that I will no longer have access to book appointments for students. Due to that meaning I'll have access to viewing advisor notes. Even though I'm legally obligated by FERPA not to reveal or share any information I come into contact with. I'm the desk receptionist, so booking appointments is like 75% of my job. My boss asked if I would be working tomorrow afternoon. When I said yes, he ominously replied, "Interesting. Edit. Update." Turns out my boss completely forgot even saying this to me. He was wondering if I would be working in the afternoon because he's bringing his daughter in and knew I would want to see her. Thank you all for taking so much interest in this. I'm a 23-year-old woman working a college job. I found it beyond funny some of you all were suggesting I was banging his wife or vice versa. Fucking networked printer will not print. One of my co-workers left the group. And I was given his work, in addition to my own. They won't promote me to the pay group of my now former co-worker. Why is it so damn hard to get subcontractors in when they say they'll be here? Why did my 2-week concrete job take 6 weeks? Why doesn't my boss have straightforward answers to anything? Why are there holes in the drywall? I'm being laid off. It seems after 9 years management, fourth one in 9 years, has decided that employees in Mexico will do the job for half of what they pay us. And the employees in the Philippines will do it for 1/3 what we make. So, we're out and this call center will be closed. What a sucker I was to take one of the better jobs in this area. I'm being moved to teach bilingual English language arts. I suspect it's because people assume I speak Spanish. I don't. 3rd grade level change at this district. And 6th curriculum in 3 years. I am not licensed to teach bilingual education. And never will be. It's frustrating enough that I'm looking at jobs out of education. My boss wants to cut my pay. I'm a nanny and I've gotten very attached to the kids. I don't know how to say I'm worth more, but I also don't think I can leave at this point. Everyone requested the last 2 weeks off, so my part-time job turned into 7 days a week. I've been waiting for an hour and a half for my appointment. Come see me now, sir. Your appointment isn't for 2 hours, but IWAZRAFRST. Bosses that don't manage, aka be proactive, and then freak out when everything is going wrong. Reactive. It's amazing watching people that get paid 20k more a year than I do not able to make simple business decisions I could make myself. The usual. People. Bar manager and 20% of the staff quit. Owner hasn't hired anyone. It's been 3 months. No one can take unexpected days off or call in sick and inventory is at an all-time low. Except the kegs. So many kegs. We keep running out of fucking everything. I, and others, have offered to help over the summer and nothing has come of it. The restaurant is expanding and we need more employees, but my boss is too focused on having us dust during construction, replacing glassware with crystal, and setting up public accessible training courses to bother with actual management. Oh. And communication is non-existent. So I regularly show up to work and have no idea where shit is or what the new procedures are. Manager being a rude ass about something I have no control over. Typical day. Trying to move this fuck ass 40 feet fiberglass ladder on my own since everyone called in. If you want, you can join my Discord to get nothing. Have a great day. Thank you.